Welcome to Transition into Death. You feel your eyes begin to get heavy. You fall deeper and deeper into a trance. Your body becomes weightless as your heart begins to slow down. Do not be afraid. You are at rest. You fall deeper and deeper. Your soul begins to separate from your body. You begin to feel the warmth of fire. This is the arrival to your final destination. Welcome to eternal damnation. You are now entering hell.
Fuckers. Just a technical thing, Rob. Is the chat showing up for you? Because for some reason it's not showing up on mine.
I don't see any.
Because no one's chatting yet.
Okay, all right. So
nobody's in there yet. Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit. All right, that's all good. Good. That works for me. Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Yes, I am back. I actually survived spooky whole conversation, whatever. So yeah, sup fuckers, what's going on? We got a lot of shit to talk about because, well, let's just right before anything, let's get into it. Matt's living in the Amityville house. So how are things in under the water in Amityville, man?
Wet.
Dude.
Very, very wet.
Oh my God.
Very, very smelly.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that. Jesus.
Oh yeah, we can smell everything coming up through the floorboards. It's awful.
Oh my God. So did you hear like a voice yelling, "Get out"? Something running down?
No, they said welcome.
All right, for those of you that don't know, our wonderful co-host and amazing sponsor, Freak Show Unlimited, had a bit of an issue this past week. If you've been on Facebook, you've probably seen the GoFundMe. So Matt, what happened?
Oh boy! All right,
vent away by all means.
We have the time. So, all right. So we moved up here in February. Now, when we got here, our furnace was dead. So it was working before when I had come up previously. Whatever. So when we got up here, the furnace wasn't working. It was like 20 degrees, and we were freezing for the first night. Had the furnace replaced. So it was a brand new replacement in February. And then since we were setting up the studio in the basement, there was water in the basement, not much. It was just puddles here and there. When it would rain, the floor would get wet, whatever. So we spent $12,000 on a waterproofing company, and I won't name them now because there may be lawsuits coming up soon. So we spent $12,000 on a French drain system and a brand new sump pump. And that was put in, I believe, April. Mm-hmm. The first time they came out, they, jackhammered the floor, did everything they needed to do, broke my water main, and then fixed that. And then a couple weeks later, it rained a few times, the snow melted, blah, blah, blah. And the basement was still having water issues. So I had them come back out, and they decided, well, we need to add more drainage on the back wall in your foundation. So they did that. And they broke the water main a second time.
Jesus.
So they fixed that. And then everything seemed to be nice and dandy and dry. And I I've been working my ass off down there, getting things ready since we have Dragon Con coming up and all this other stuff coming up. And then Thursday night there was a rainstorm, and it was, we were just sitting there. It was a big thunderstorm. It was, something you would normally, what you guys are used to, what we're used to down in Florida. Mm-hmm. And I guess it dropped, 4 inches of rain in 3 hours, which is pretty much unheard of here.
Yeah.
We lost power for maybe 2 minutes after a lightning bolt. So power wasn't an issue, and we just went to bed. Next morning, Angie gets up, comes downstairs, opens the basement door because it smells kind of musty, and she can hear a beeping sound in the basement.
That's never
and
good.
There's 4+ feet of water in the basement. It's a friggin' lake, a pool. So, needless to say, the $12,000 we spent did fuck all. So they had a tech come out. It took an entire day to drain all the water out of there with 2 sump pumps. The fire department came out and lent me one of their hoses so I could get it out to the street because, and this is where this story part comes in. They had a tech come out. He didn't show up till 4:30 in the afternoon that next day. He went down and looked at everything. We still had about a foot of water in there. So we could walk around. And I had already gone down there and taken the video that I've been posting because it was somewhat safe. I mean, all the breakers had tripped, so there was no electrocution problems. So I went down, and so he basically told me in private, which is not really in private because it was kind of in front of my doorbell camera, that so when they installed the first bit of the system, it was 99 feet worth of drain. That sump pump we have handles 99 feet. When they came in and added another 8 to 10 feet, they did not install a second sump pump, which they should have done to handle any excess water. And then also, so I'm missing a sump pump. So 2 sump pumps would have probably kept up. Also, where they have the drain coming out of the basement into the yard, it's literally 5 feet from the side of the house in a leach field. So basically what's happening is it's pumping water out and it's going right down to the ground and coming right back in the basement. So he's like, we should have piped it to go to the street. So there's 2 things he told me. So I was on the phone with them on Friday night around their closing time. The lady on the phone pretty much said, "Act of God." And I said, okay, here's how we're going to play that then. I got off the phone with her. I wrote a strongly worded email. I'd like to say cursing or anything or nothing bad. I wasn't a dick. Not yet. But I basically told him, I was like, I've talked to a couple lawyers and, there's probably a case there and we don't need to go that route if you guys just want to help us out. But yeah, basically I've lost my 2 kilns. One of them's dead. That's when I was actually firing some things in that night. So it was up to 1,800 degrees and then cold water decided to come in and fill up the entire thing.
Jesus.
So they fried that. It fried our brand new furnace. All the tabletops and all the desks and everything I installed downstairs were about 3 feet off the ground. And in the back room there is where I keep all my 3D printers, my laser engraver, all the electronics and everything I use. And those are all fried. All of them are gone. Nothing works. Plus, whatever product we had down there in storage, product I was working on and making, supplies, all that stuff, all my slip, all my plaster, everything is just gone. And so today I went down there after I let it air out for another day. We cleaned up all the wet cardboard boxes and from everything floating around because I hadn't finished unpacking yet. And so I got all the cardboard out of there. And luckily we have a little, it's not next door, it's just a Facebook page for Olean. And I asked if anybody had a few like turbofans or whatever they could let me borrow to dry out the basement. And I had 2 or 3 people reply and lend me their fans. So, which would never happen in Orlando, ever.
No.
Nobody would do that. Like,
my fans! Stay the fuck away!
My fans! So they're down there right now trying to do their job. And I'm supposed to hear back from the waterproofing company tomorrow at some point. Honestly, I would be happy with them coming in and installing the second pump, redoing my drainage, and then refunding me my $12,000 and then fucking off. I'd be happy with that because that money can replace a lot of the stuff that I need to go get so I can keep working so I can make it to the shows.
Yeah.
We've booked, we're in South Carolina for Spooky. We're
Yes,
in
like Dragon Con for their first year ever. And active
and
job.
After that, I've got TerrorCon in, I think that's in Marlboro, Mass. Then Spooky in October in Orlando, and then Days of the Dead in Chicago that I have to make stuff for. So that's where we're at right now. And I just thank you, everybody who donated and have shared and done everything they have done. The GoFundMe is like amazing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that now. You've like hit 50% of your goal, which is fucking amazing. You know,
we've hit over 100% now. We're at almost $11,000 in donations.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've noticed it. At first, it was 10,000, but of course, after everything you went through and you realize how much you lost, it's 20,000 with all the.
Did they up it? I didn't look. Yeah, if they upped it, then that's even better.
Yeah,
real quick,
we have no idea what this is going to cost.
Yeah, just to kind of throw this in, I'm going to put a link to the GoFundMe in the chat. So wherever you are, there it is. And then I know we can't put an active link on the webpage or on this, but if you type in "help Angie and Matt recover from flood loss," go to GoFundMe and put that in.
Yeah, or even just go to their Facebook page, because their Facebook page, the link is
everywhere.
Yeah,
it's if you know anyone spooky, you've probably seen it. It's the community. I'll just say this: the spooky community showed up.
And I was going to say that very thing. It's just, and this is when we find out who's Spooky Fam and who's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
and friends and family, regardless.
Yeah.
I still haven't heard from people that I would hope would come and check on me, but I have nothing.
No, unfortunately, like you said, times like this, you find out who your friends are. That's absolute truth. And honestly, I think this is why we choose the family, why we do this webcast, why we have the spooky family we do, because these are the people who show up continuously no matter what. So if you can, you know what, you don't need your Starbucks. You don't need to get your Dunkin' Donuts for a week. Take that and just throw a few bucks their way, man. It's the very least you can do.
Yeah, so it was funny. Tanner from Mohawk Crew called me today and was checking in on me. And Shannon is doing amazing, by the way. We had a chat about Shannon. And
I'm so fucking glad.
She's reacting well to the chemo, or was it chemo that she's on right now, or radiation she's doing right now? She's not having any side effects other than her hair. So she's doing really, really well for that. But he's, I guess, doing an oddities market next week and something like that. He's going to be posting. He's going to put a poster up in his booth with our Venmos. And I can't thank everybody enough. We're going to try and do something for everybody, or something for whatever we can when the dust settles, to try and get, to try and show you guys our thanks. I mean, I can't even put it in words what you guys have done for us. Well,
I only want one thing. The one thing I just want you to check and make sure there's no skeletons or Indian burial ground in your backyard.
It's not. I've looked. I mean, it would have washed into that area just like in Poltergeist.
See, now that would have been funny. Just put a fucking skeletons up there, have them.
I had skulls and skeletons and all kinds of stuff floating around in the water down there. If you look,
the only bodies they found were the ones they buried themselves.
See, that's the shit right there. If you'd like that, the skulls and skeletons, you took pictures of that and send it to the insurance company.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know where this came from. That looks like Chief. Fuck yourself.
But that's all you can do.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened, and it's a work in progress. I don't have any answers. It just is what it is.
Basically, this is the freak show telethon is what we're doing tonight. This is the freak show telethon. So this is where we start playing Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah. For $1 a day.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, we're here. If you want to vent about anything, then I just jump right in and vent about, whatever the fuck. Because
I do want to show you a few things though.
No, please. Absolutely.
Before we get started. So
yay, art.
You've seen art before.
Yes.
So these are going to be at Spooky and at Dragon Con if you're there. Let me turn this background off real quick since it's being kind of stupid. None. Okay.
You got to be able to laugh about that shit. Yep. That's beautiful.
Ah, George.
I love that George is done. He's gorgeous.
This is the first one I was able to do. I had about 12 of these in the kiln when it decided to die. So,
Collector's item right there. Limited edition.
yeah. Collection of one. And where's the other thing?
$1 million, folks.
Now, I decided to start doing something really kind of fun. Let me see if I can do a nice little reveal here of what this is.
Ooh.
So, exactly what can you now? What is that? What
That's
can
a crack pipe. That's a crack pipe.
No.
That's what that is.
What can you put into that?
Whatever you fucking feel like.
I know we got some crackheads.
It's tobacco.
Yeah.
Wacky tobacco. So I've got a whole line of these coming out soon. This was the first one I decided to make is my skull one. There's a pumpkin skull one that will be coming out, a xenomorph one, a unicorn horn, a what else did I do? Bubble blower.
Bubble
Yeah,
blower.
exactly. Exactly.
That is correct, man.
She knows what's up. And I'll also be getting into what's the proper word for it? Water pipes, ceramic water pipes at some point as well. So, but yeah, if I can get all this stuff done, you'll see it at all the shows. And I'm not going to announce what the special tiki mug is for October, but it's going to be fucking dope.
Oh, just from past history, I have no doubt it's going to be hookah.
Yeah, I can get into all that stuff. Skull cabbage, devil's lettuce.
Devil's lettuce. I love it.
All the fun stuff.
All right. Well, speaking of spooky and in August, the spooky's been going nuts with the Charleston. Apparently, it's like they took a while to announce everyone from Charleston, but they've just gone bam, 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 one right after the other. So
there wasn't a whole lot of downtime in between. I mean, it's literally from the May show to Charleston, 3 months.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I know some of the fans were very concerned because we weren't really seeing a lot of announcements. But then they like dominoes after May, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Rob, you want to give us some of who's going to be at Charleston?
So I don't think we covered these the last show, but if I'm wrong, I apologize and go fuck yourself.
Some of these are so awesome. I don't mind talking about them again.
Yeah. So at Spooky Charleston, which, for the record, if they don't have someone actually doing a skeleton doing the Charleston in a video or something,
oh my God,
it's completely a missed opportunity. Also, after this, I do have a recommendation for people to make. But let's as far as travel to Charleston, but we'll get to that. So first we have everyone's favorite MILF, Grand MILF, whatever you want to call her, Dee Wallace.
An absolute fucking darling.
Yeah, she's amazing. She really is.
Dee was has long been anyone who's ever met Dee at a convention just comes away loving Dee. It's just that
she loves Rottweilers or St. Bernards.
It was a St. Bernard.
That's important. But no, she's like the horror mom. She kind of took up the mantle when Betsy Palmer passed away, unfortunately. Betsy Palmer, as you know, Mrs. Voorhees, who unfortunately I never got to meet, and it's a big regret of mine. Dee I've met a number of times, but she's like the horror mom, So I love her. If you haven't met her, please do, because she's just the sweetest fucking person that you could possibly imagine to meet. So
she is. Then one of the icons, so to speak, Doug Bradley.
Oh yeah. And here's the thing, Doug Bradley, fine, Pinhead, that's great. But look at all his horror canon. He's done so much. I mean, let's look at the fucking Nightbreed, for Christ's sake. He's done so much Clive Barker shit. If you like Clive Barker, then his whole body of work, absolutely fantastic.
They have pretty much the whole Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Dream Warriors cast.
Minus the first one.
Minus Robert.
Yeah.
But Heather Langenkamp is there. Jennifer Rubin, Bradley Gregg, Keg Sangos, Ira Heiden, Rodney Eastman. Basically, if you were in that movie and you're still alive, you're going to be
You're not Lawrence Fishburne or Patricia Arquette.
Oh yeah,
That is true. That is true. But I think she's got some Nicolas Cage divorce money before he filed for bankruptcy, so she doesn't need to work.
well, it wasn't even that, but she just recently did the Gypsy Rose thing. She played the mom in the whole Gypsy Rose thing.
Oh, she'd
Yeah,
be
so
a good guest. Basically, she did Stigmata too. I mean, hell, Stigmata was so good.
Yeah, 90s horror.
Little Nicky.
Hmm, yeah, but anyway.
One of my all-time favorite movies, True Romance.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, we're not getting her, so let's
Alabama.
not even talk about it.
We could just quote that movie back and forth all night. But anyway, Rob, please continue.
C.J. Graham, who played Jason, and in the Jason tribute movie Fanboy 13.
Which, if you guys have not seen, please look up Fanboy 13 because it's fantastic.
He actually had a very prominent role in that movie.
Mm-hmm. It's actually incredibly funny and very meta as far as horror conventions go.
And just for the record, he's a big goddamn dude.
He is. I mean, he's a very nice guy.
Very nice.
Very cool guy.
Then also at Charleston, they are giving us the Terrifier reunion.
Yep. Speaking of art, there we go.
If you enjoy your modern day slashers, if your art's the clowns, David Howard Thornton, director Damien Leone, and Amelie McLean. Then if you were a
I'm sorry, this announcement just always cracks me up just because.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think if you were the age, if you were like a preteen in the late 80s, early 90s, you probably liked Teen Witch a lot.
Top that.
Hey man, Karate Kid 3.
She wasn't Karate Kid 3, that's right. So Robin Lively and Dan Gauthier,
Mm-hmm.
the stars of Teen Witch are going to be there. Yeah. Both have interesting IMDb's.
Yeah, I think it's Teen Witch. That's what everybody remembers them from. You know, the whole
Teen Witch. He was on one of the big soaps back in the day.
That I don't know.
I couldn't tell. Then from Children of the Corn, who we just saw in May, if you're in Charleston, you'll have another chance to meet John Franklin and Courtney Gaines. That's Malachi and
I don't remember the redhead's name. Oh God, that's going to kill me. Bad horror fan.
If you like Children of the Corn, you already know who I'm talking about.
I know who he is. Outlander. Yeah, I just don't remember.
You know, if we had a horror, if I could make a horror movie parody, I would make Children of the Cornflakes and just make the most ridiculous little piece of shit kids eating breakfast.
And then, of course, the serial killer thing writes itself. So,
that's right. Exactly.
Verbal trademark.
And then
we can do that.
Would it be a spooky empire if Alex Vincent didn't show up?
He wanted a vacation.
So Alex Vincent and Christine Elise from Child's Play 2, they will be
Andy
attending. And that's the current list for Charleston. Also, and then again, the first announcement they had was
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell, thank you. So that's a pretty good guest list for a first-year con, folks. So, you know, I know this is actually the fourth most popular webcast in all of the greater Charleston area. Despite the fact we've never actually been there, fourth most popular.
Yeah, it's true.
So we're behind Joe Rogan. We're behind. Well, I don't remember what 2 and 3 are. No one remembers those.
Yeah, there's that one with Bobby Long on it.
It's not best friends, worst friends, or
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so that's Charleston. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
Because Spooky has also started announcing their October guests. Because the fact is, I guess we're down to 2 months until Charleston, but it's 4 months until 4 months until October. So it's not like there's a whole lot of time there either.
Yeah, but here's the thing. One of the things I like is I like the date that they have this year. So it's not like right up against Halloween. So we have enough time to actually do Spooky and then go home and do Halloween. So
Robbie just said, any chance Joe Bob and Darcy show up in October? There's always a chance.
Well, in all honesty, I can tell you right now, if you go to Joe Bob and Darcy, who are very active on their TikTok and on their YouTube and on their Instagram, I know Darcy is pretty much always plugged in. Let them know you want them at Spooky. You know, that's because they listen to the fans. They go where the fans want them to go. So if you want them there in October, by all means, start going on their social media and letting them know.
They haven't been. What was the last time they were at Spooky? Was it the winter show?
Yeah, it was the winter show, but like a couple years ago when we were still wearing masks and stuff.
No. So that was 2020.
Was it?
So they're due to come back if they haven't been back
Absolutely.
since. I thought maybe did he show up by? No. Okay. Anyway, yeah. No, that's right because they were in Tampa and then they came back for the winter show.
Yes, and I've always wanted them
definitely due to come back.
I've always wanted them to like screen a movie there, or just like even let's say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just have a like Mystery Science 3000 sort of thing going on with them talking about a movie. I always thought that would be fantastic.
Well, you know, and actually that's part of the thing. They don't do as many conventions anymore because their own show is doing really well.
Yeah.
The Joe Bob present.
I think they're keeping Shudder afloat.
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, Shudder gets something once in a blue moon, which we didn't talk about movies we're watching, but I tried watching Suitable Flesh.
and how'd that go?
Not so good. I love Heather Graham. Not so good.
Yeah, she was good in Boogie Nights, but
yeah.
Yeah, and Carl just said they had Christmas gear on. Yeah, no, absolutely, and they were darling.
And I got my picture with Bob that year. So
yeah,
Joe Bob shirt. No, actually, I did. Yeah, no, I bought this. I bought the 45 collection. 45 records, folks, not handguns. I'm assuming that's a type of weapon. Yeah. All right. But yeah, okay. So back to what we were saying. Spooky does have some October guests announced. So the first was kind of a cool guest, or the most recent one, I should say. Thora Birch.
Which now I'm curious if they're going to bring more of the Hocus Pocus cast, especially the latest one. So it's just Hocus Pocus 2, 3.
I'm sure they will. I mean, with Doug Jones being there too.
Exactly. So it just, I mean, Doug, we're going to get into
the young girl versions of the witches, and of course you're going to get Kathy because she always comes to the shows, but they're not going to probably.
Kathy, she's a sweetheart.
But I would say they could probably do that.
It'd be nice. It would be cool, and especially if, crossing our fingers, Bora can show up. You know, America's Got Talent, latest alumni. So that would be nice. But anyway, so Rob, you were saying Thora Birch.
Just other things to remember or remind you about Thora Birch. American
Thank
Beauty.
You. Yep.
She currently in the Mayfair Witches, which I know the Anne Rice purists don't like it, but other people do.
Those of us
perhaps most importantly, if you look at all of her film credits, she did star in the original Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh God.
Alongside one of the Wayans brothers and Jeremy Irons. It was. Has anyone actually seen that? I mean, chat. If any of you seen that, I apologize, and I didn't even have anything to do with the movie. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, no.
For some reason, Jeremy Irons felt he needed to have a lisp in that role.
Yeah, Jeremy's a very interesting person.
You might have been able to help that movie, but the lisp, no, you did no one any favors, sir.
And Robin just immediately just said it right out. It sucks.
Yeah, no, I mean there's nothing else to say about the Dungeons and Dragons. Honest to God, I'll be blunt. I don't think the last one was that good either. The one that came out last year,
Chris Pine.
Yeah, I thought it was a movie for morons. It's like there was nothing subtle about that movie. They took
there needs to be a book, just movies for morons.
So here's the thing about the last Dungeons and Dragons movies, the Chris Pine one. Dungeons and Dragons historically is played by intelligent people. It's played by creative people,
super nerds,
imaginative, smart, whatever, cerebral folk.
Mm.
And then they made this movie, and it's like, we can't let people have to think about this. Like, nothing was subtle. You can see everything coming a mile away, and if you can't see it, don't worry. They'll give you a flashback to let you know what the characters are thinking, just in case you can't, you don't want their acting to, let them kind of maybe hint.
So what you're saying is, Your Highness is a better D&D movie than the D&D movie.
Yes. Was that the Tom Hanks one?
No, Your Highness was the one with Danny McBride and where he's wearing the Minotaur dick around his neck the entire movie, and the movie's quite hilarious.
I didn't know anything about it. That's okay. Danny McBride with a Minotaur dick around his neck.
There
Yeah.
was Tom Hanks actually
what's
did a
his name
Dungeons
from what was the kid from McLovin? He's in it.
So
It's
Judd
that
Apatow
crew.
and his
It's
guys.
that
Okay.
crew doing their thing. I'm sure Seth Rogen's in it.
Yeah,
as well.
okay, I do know what you're talking about now. I
It's a
remember this
great
one.
movie. It's fucking hilarious. Peter Dinklage is in it.
Yeah.
Oh well, then I'm sold. Minotaur Dick and Peter Dinklage.
Allison, I'm sorry. I'm not sugarcoating it. I thought that movie was just, it took the concept of simple and then dumbed it down.
Allison's gonna fight you now. Just saying.
It's all right. Sorry. But yeah,
No,
there was
you're
actually in the early 80s, there's a Tom Hanks Dungeons and Dragons movie, but it's like about going to, if you play Dungeons and Dragons, you're going to hell. Back when it was a satanic game.
Satanic Panic. That's my.
It was a
wheelhouse.
satanic panic versions of Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. So
Wow.
That's just.
all right, so Thor Birch is coming to Spooky
Thor
in
Birch.
Orlando.
So that's the whole thing. I mean, now I'm curious who's going to ask her about the Dungeons and Dragons movie because now I'm wondering if we're going to get that in the Q&A.
Doug Jones, as we already kind of hit, Mazes and
Which-
Monsters. Wait, hold on, Carl. Thank you. Mazes and Monsters. That's the Tom Hanks Dungeons and Dragons movie. I believe it is on Tubi or Pluto, or it's one of the trash streaming
3D,
services.
whatever. Yeah. Satanic Panic at the Disco. Absolutely, Randy.
Okay,
yeah.
so Doug Jones.
Wait,
Doug
let me just
Jones,
say,
everybody.
Petey, thank you. We've only been asking for him for 10 fucking years. Finally.
So fucking stoked.
Dude. Oh man. It's it's
Cannot
interesting.
wait for him to jump on me or put my face or lick me or whatever he's gonna do.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. It's when I met him, there's a movie I always recommend to everybody if you're looking for, a good horror movie, Absentia. It was done in 2011. It was a Kickstarter project, really just tense, icky, gets under your skin. Fucking love that shit. Doug Jones had a small part in it, but as you know, any part he has in a movie, he just commands the entire attention of everybody. He was fantastic. I adored him. So when at Dragon Con, I saw all his other stuff. That's great. Hellboy, Silver Surfer, that's all wonderful and fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, oh my God, Absentia. And we started talking about that movie. And there are some of these guests that while you like them 20 times more once you actually meet them. And Doug Jones is that guy because I had the mohawk and at that time I had the bat wings, which is like the hair hanging down on each side. And he starts tugging on my bat wings. And that was like the most adorable thing ever. And that's the photo I got with him is him messing with my bat wings, which is just the sweetest thing ever. So I am so stoked for him to actually make it to Spooky. It's going to be amazing.
Has Hooper kept the mohawk even if you have not?
Yes, he has.
So he won't be going. He won't be shaving all the way.
Mine's
Got
gone. Mine's gone.
All right. So yes, Doug Jones, we absolutely, so here's a good question. I mean, in your guys' opinion, what is your favorite role of his?
Mac Tonight. Mac Tonight. Folks, if you're Gen Xer or older, you might remember the Quarter Moon guy who sang Mac the Knife for McDonald's back in around 1985, 86. Okay? That is Mac Tonight. And I will say this, probably my favorite commercial of all time. The reason I went into advertising goes all the way back to that commercial. Now, granted, I never got to do any advertising for such cool things like McDonald's, but I did get to do some ads for disposable female urinals. So,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
That's the shit you want to put on LinkedIn.
Proud moments.
You're absolutely right, Dan. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he tugged my bat wings.
And Robin, no, we did not find the Candy Shop movie that you mentioned.
But one of the things, and somebody had brought this up, apparently I guess he does this at other conventions, so we can cross our fingers and only hope. Nosferatu, him playing Max Schreck in Nosferatu, he's been showing it at different conventions that he's been to, so let's cross our fingers and hope for a screening by Doug of Nosferatu at Spooky. That would just make my entire year.
And Angie, yes, that song is a classic. We should all still sing it tonight. They're every day get a chance to sing it. That was, and that is a sad thing about the Wyndham being gone. The world's biggest McDonald's actually had an animatronic Mac Tonight.
They did. Yes, they did.
And it hadn't worked in decades, but
Was it
they
still there?
kept it there.
Was it still there now?
It was there the last time I went, which was only a few years ago. I mean, it's not ancient history, but I mean, like 2 or 3 years ago.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So it's still maintained it through like all of the renovations and remodels. They just have him kind of like up in the air now, and they unfortunately put a cape on him so he looks stupid.
No, just no.
Yeah, I know. It completely destroyed the integrity of Mac tonight. Fuck you, Orlando. You fucked shit up again.
Again. So I'm curious, those of you in the chat, I want to hear what your favorite Doug roles are. What's your favorite role of his?
I think we already covered what everyone's going to say.
Sure. Okay, let's go with that. So other than Doug, who else we got coming to?
All right, and then the last announced
tell you
guest
what
they
I
have is Tom Woodruff Jr., special
You're-
effect.
He doesn't want to hear you, Matt, apparently. He just wants to talk over you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you asked a question. I spoke.
Pale Man is my favorite, but I also love him as the Baron in What We Do in the Shadows.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He is in
Pale
that, isn't
Man from Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes.
This guy.
Dude, just creepy as fuck. Oh, I love creepy.
And he's
Very
really good
good
in Star Trek
thinking.
Discovery, too. He really is. And he talks and acts and does the whole thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Can't Beat Aid Sapien, Shape of Water. I mean, dude's amazing.
Okay, I know. I need to sing Barry Manilow with Doug Jones. That's
There
my
you go.
goal for October. Yeah, that would make me happy. Can't Smile Without You. This fucking fantastic song. But anyway, Rob, you were saying Tom Woodruff.
Yeah, so Tom Woodruff Jr. Or sorry, is there a junior there? Yeah, Tom Woodruff Jr.
Yeah.
Special effects and monster actor. So he basically does a lot of in the suit kind of stuff,
Like Doug Jones.
much like Doug Jones. That's true.
Actually, isn't he, if I'm not mistaken, in the new Winnie the Pooh?
I hope not.
I don't know,
No?
but that movie, the second one, is excellent. It is
Really?
so much fun. It is so much fun. They upgraded everything. The makeup's all new. The actors are all different.
Huh.
They kind of take the first movie and kind of wish it away type of thing. And basically, it's a movie. Okay, so I'll leave it to you. Figure it out when you see the movie, but definitely see part 2.
Yeah,
Blood and
'cause
Honey
it-
2 is so good.
Huh. So one of the few where the
It's like
sequel is
Banana
actually better than the
Splits.
original.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like Banana Split's good.
Love banana splits. I'll
Right.
fight for banana splits every fucking time. Anyway, but Rob, yes, continue.
Okay, since you said continue, I just got to show this.
Oh, dear
Yeah.
God. And of course, no sound,
And
but I
the
think
piano
that's probably a
thing, yeah.
copyright thing.
Oh yeah, I didn't share with sound, so screw it.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's just StreamYard sucks ass, folks. I'm sorry. It's just they
We're
don't
not
let
getting
you do
paid for
anything
this,
good
so
without
whatever.
clicking a million buttons first.
But here's the
All right.
thing, and I remember for those of you that know Jimmy from Trauma at Spooky, he has a Mac Tonight outfit. So if you know him, reach out to him and get him to wear that outfit. We might actually pay for the autograph, maybe. Allegedly.
And all right, so that's everything for Spooky. But we figured we'd throw Spookala a bone, and we'd give some of their more recent announcements because I've got some good stuff. So
They're Florida horror, they're on the
they are.
circuit,
They're
so-
Florida. They're Central Florida horror. They're in the group.
Is
So
that Jay Leno? Very funny, Robbie. I like that. That's a dated.
we
joke.
have Marty Grabstein, aka the voice of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Mhm.
Good stuff there.
As I'm older, I'm starting to appreciate voice actors more and more as I get older. Just
I will say that oh god, I'm blanking on the name. Fry from Futurama.
Billy West.
Billy West, thank you. Billy West and John DiMaggio are my two, not even because I like Futurama. I actually like them from different projects. That just happens to be where they're working together. But
John DiMaggio is probably one of the better Jokers too. He was the Joker in Death in the Family,
mhm.
the one that kills Robin. He was so good in that.
Good.
I think he's going to be taking it on because Mark Hamill has retired.
So he says he'll still. Fucking
He's like Kevin Conway's dead.
Yeah,
So it's like if my Batman's gone, I'm not going to be the Joker anymore. And it's not like he needs the money anymore, you know?
No, that's true. That's fine. But what is his name? Jensen Ackles is now Batman.
Oh my God.
He is now Batman.
That's someone that it's because I started watching.
He's really good at Batman too.
Soldier Boy, yay! He's good at everything.
Soldier Boy. I'd love to meet those two. Those guys are fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, Jensen Ackles. I would just, I would murder my firstborn to get to meet him. I'm just saying. I love him.
They've also got somebody named Amadeus Serafini from the more recent Scream movies.
Yeah, and I think those are more for the younger generation because we are old and we are not always on top of what's happening and new.
Hey!
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like I don't know anything about the new Scream, but I mean, apparently it's all the rage with the youngins these days. So,
and
thank you, Robin.
And then last that I would mention is director and just utterly delight, Joe Dante.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's and we were talking about that. How many directors have actually been at Spooky? And it's like I would love to see more horror movie directors. And Harriet was supposed to be on tonight, and makes me sad because I know she's big into it too. And it's like there are certain horror directors we've been asking for years. I mean, granted, yes, we have Clive Barker, we've had John Landis. We've had a number of, but I'd like to see more. So
I just wanted to take a minute. I'm sorry. This is so frightening.
Oh, Ed.
Okay.
Oh, man. But yes,
so Joe Dante, director of Gremlins.
The big Gremlins thing, which is Rob's favorite movie.
You know what? It's funny. I mean, I love Gremlins 2. I think it's actually one of the greats of all time.
So much fun. I love it.
It's a perfect, ridiculous movie.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. And I've even gone back and watched Gremlins since, but it's like, boy, that just did something to me as a kid. Fucked me up.
Everybody's got that one.
And then last but not least, we're going to throw one last bone to Tampa Bay Screams, another Central Florida horror that's there. We've talked about them in past. Yeah. They've just announced, and again, they usually do the cult people, the B-rated movies. But they announced Jack O'Halloran.
Yes, I mean, if you guys are fans of Superman 2, which let's face it was like
he's not
sequel. Yeah, and nicest guy. We had the honor of meeting him last year at Fanboy Expo, where we met Sebastian Bach, and he was the absolute nicest.
He the guy that played Zod, or he was the silent one?
Zon, Non.
Zod?
The big
strong guy, the big guy,
the big dude. Yeah, the silent guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And him and Sarah, who does Ursa, which are like the greatest villains ever. The back and forth between the two of them was absolutely darling.
Yeah, no, they were. It's like they were like a married couple. They are not, but they certainly acted like it.
Oh yeah, they were yelling at each other nonstop, giving each other shit, and that's worth the price of admission.
So that wraps up all the guests for all the Central Florida horror conventions that have been announced over the past.
There's been a lot.
Weeks.
Yeah, there's been a lot. So I mean, like I said, Spookala or Tampa Bay Screams, Fanboy Expo, stuff like that is good for a day. If you want to take a Saturday and go meet some people, and that's good. That's the shit you do for stuff like that. So, Christopher Lee, what? You saw Carl say Christopher Lee. What?
He was in Gremlins 2.
Oh yes. Okay. That's right.
He was in Gremlins 2. Hulk Hogan is in Gremlins 2.
Oh God, I hadn't even thought about that. You're right. Wow.
Oh, I need to watch that movie. I was
gonna say, it's been forever since I watched it.
Okay. Gremlins that's the best part of the whole movie.
Oh yeah,
all the different gremlins that get created. It's fucking awesome.
Good. Well, it's funny because they had to top the microwave scene. So what do? They use a paper shredder.
Yeah. Paper shredder, and they create a bat gremlin that can go out in the sun, and a spider gremlin that's scary as fuck if you ran into it.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I read an article that they couldn't get a good voice for Non. He had a nice accent. It's interesting because actually he's got a very nice voice.
Apparently he was a professional boxer too.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
That would explain that.
Yeah, no, he's got a boxer face.
Oh yeah, very much so.
I mean, respectfully, it's a compliment. Like, hey, you look like you're a boxer. It's a nice thing to say.
Say that to Mickey Rourke and see what happens.
Oh, okay. No, because I knew Mickey Rourke once upon a time, so and he was always a douche, funny story because he was always a douche. But anyway.
All right, so moving on. A documentary was recently released.
See, now this shit's about to get fun here, guys.
Nat did not care for it.
Before we get into that,
here we go.
how about this latest episode of Interview?
Dude! Okay. Y'all know I am obsessed with
I can't believe the season's almost over.
I know.
Okay. It hasn't aired yet.
Technically it has.
It's for streaming, yes, it has.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, so shut the fuck up.
No spoilers. I'm not that person.
Hey, by the way, if you use Plex, Rob, you get it early.
Thank you.
No, look.
Oh no,
it was on at 3 a.m. last night.
Oh yeah, I wait till 3 a.m. to watch it. Yeah, I watch it the second it comes out, and just y'all, we're gonna watch it again tonight. But just
so good,
gorgeous. But yeah, not saying nothing.
Anyway,
going back to Bratz. There was a documentary that came out, and those of you that are Gen Xers, you absolutely know. Andrew McCarthy did a whole documentary on the Brat Pack and the stigma that came along with that. And Matt and I and Rob, I think, have differing opinions. So this is where shit's about to get fun. So
so it was ultimately about him coming to terms with
him and also reconnecting with those people. He wanted to compare his experience to other people that had that same moniker during that same time, and if they had the same feelings as he did. So it was one man's journey, sure, but it was generally about them as a collective, because you got to hear from Emilio Estevez, you got to hear from Ali Sheedy, you got to hear from John Cryer, who technically isn't a Brat Packer, which we'll get into in a minute, but Demi Moore, who's has become, and if y'all saw it, she uses therapy speak the entire time, therapist speak, which is interesting. She's got valid points, but it's like when you're using those buzzwords constantly, you kind of have to wonder. But I guess if you're married to Ashton Kutcher, that's, put you in therapy. So, Rob, what did you think?
Rob Lowe.
Yes. And Rob Lowe, who, if you guys are not following Rob Lowe on social media, you're missing out. He's a fucking riot. As a matter of fact, I believe he and his sons do like a paranormal show. I don't know if it's ghost hunting or it's paranormal something, but Rob Lowe and his sons do a show. Rob Lowe is fucking hilarious.
He is.
He really is. So I highly recommend him.
Yeah.
But Rob, you were going to say?
I don't even remember anymore. Yeah, I mean, it was therapy for him. It's a therapeutic for him, and I liked it. My biggest takeaway, and it was just this, misconception that I never should have had, as an adult, but when you're younger, you don't get it. It's the Brat Pack never really was that much of even a thing. They were people who hung out together while they worked on movies a little bit. Yeah. There was no real friendship after the fact, though. Like in almost every case, it was like, haven't talked to this person in 20 years, haven't talked to this person in 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for him, yeah. But if you watch the, where were they at? They had Molly Ringwald, Ali Sheedy, Judd Nelson, and Michael C. Hall. Not Michael C. Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall. Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall at some convention recently. And they were all, if you watch their panel, they've stayed friends for a long time. And like Judd and Emilio are like that.
Really? Okay.
All he would do is talk about Emilio.
Huh.
And them hanging out and growing up together and doing everything, I guess they're best buds at the time.
All right.
One thing I did take away from that documentary was when they showed Emilio Estevez, and I was like, holy fuck, he looks just like
Martin
his dad.
Sheen.
Like
Martin Sheen.
That is his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right down to the hairstyle. It's like, you're not even trying to look like, it's all good, but
wow.
I mean, there are worse fathers to look like, so I mean, good on him. But
I was like, holy crap.
One of the things I found interesting is when he and Emilio were talking, and you could see Emilio was very guarded. He was very not defensive, but he was very just kind of, But I found out, apparently, I guess Emilio didn't take a movie role because it was with Andrew McCarthy, and he thought it would immediately label him Brat Pack again. There was a misunderstanding or something. So because he missed out on this big movie, I guess there was tension between the two of them or something like that. So I thought that was really interesting. It's something you could see between Emilio and Andrew the entire time they were talking. It was interesting. Oh, okay, Rob, did you see Allison's comment there?
Yeah. Okay.
I missed that.
Robert Downey Jr. though. That's a question. Is he Brat Pack or is he not?
See, and that's exactly it. I say yes.
I say no.
Okay, here's the thing.
Jr. No, I wouldn't say. In
Really?
my opinion, I would say everybody in the Breakfast Club is Brat Pack, and with I wouldn't throw Tom Cruise in there, even though he was in the Outsiders.
He was, in my opinion, to be Brat Pack, you have to be in a John Hughes ensemble movie.
Well, okay, you have to be in a. So this is let me. I found this really great article on Vulture, and they basically kind of went through the rules of what it was to be in the Brat Pack. And I think Matt, you pretty much kind of nailed the 1 and 2, but they had 5 rules, and you basically had to have 4 of them.
Okay.
1, they played a teenager or a very young adult in multiple popular films in the 80s aimed at young audience and for a period were defined by that. So that's the most general thing right there. They became famous in movies first, not on TV, which is why you could make the argument that like Michael J. Fox, he wouldn't have been considered this because he was Family Ties for years before he started.
And why John Cryer technically is not Brat Pack because he did 1 John Hughes movie and that was it.
Well, and then so they were okay. So now you also have to be one of 3 movies.
Okay.
The Outsiders, The Breakfast Club, or St. Elmo's Fire.
Okay.
So that all makes perfect sense to me.
Okay.
And that, but now
like when Leah Thompson was
John
on,
Hughes rule is that says you have to be at least in 1 John Hughes movie. But then here's where the next rule comes. The term Brat Pack came out before Pretty in Pink. So Pretty in Pink wouldn't count as a Brat Pack movie because the Brat Pack's already defined. So John Cryer doesn't get in. Right. Matthew Broderick does not get in.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like Leah Thompson said in her interview, she was like, I am Brat Pack adjacent because I work with all you guys.
She qualifies. Yeah, it was like between Some Kind of Wonderful, Back to the Future. Oh God, what was the other one she was in? Howard the Duck, but there was something else.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay, sorry.
Some Kind of Wonderful. Anyway, she was in a number of them. So when I met her, I told her she was my Molly Ringwald, which she thought was the sweetest thing in the world. But I consider her Brat Pack adjacent. I would agree with that. Now, I've seen Anthony Michael Hall, I've seen yes and I've seen no.
No, he absolutely is.
I think absolutely yes.
Breakfast Club puts him in without question. Plus, he's in 16 Candles and Breakfast Club. Then the last rule of this, they co-starred in a project with at least one of the other actors in the Brat Pack or Brat Pack adjacent categories.
Okay,
so,
that's.
And for the record, no, John Cusack, not Brat Pack.
No. That's like saying, I just had it in my head.
But he was in 16 Candles. You've got Better Off Dead. So I get why you would.
Better Off Dead's not a John Hughes movie.
What about Joan? And then you got Joan Cusack, so who was in 16 Candles as well.
Yes. Because I know they brought up Tom Cruise quite a lot, but he just did Risky Business, and that was about it. So you could say the same thing about Tom Hanks. And that's true. The Outsiders too. He was real young in that. But none of the other guys in there, Patrick Swayze's not part of the Brat Pack.
No, that's true.
Patrick Swayze was already like 45 when he did The Outsiders.
I was just saying he was in that. And what was it? Matt Dillon?
He never played a teenager though. He never played a teenager in any of those kind of movies.
But see, that's the other one. Matt, you were saying Matt Dillon, who was my first love. It's like I think he was pre-Brat Pack because early 80s from Tex in 1981 up through. I think he was too old by that time. But here's the thing: what about C. Thomas Howell?
Just because he worked with Andrew McCartney on what was it? Weekend at Bernie's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Weekend at Bernie's wasn't a John Hughes.
Wait. Who are you referring to? Andrew McCarthy?
Yeah.
No, C. Thomas Howell.
Yes, he
No,
Thomas
he
Howell.
wasn't.
Yes.
C. Thomas Howell wasn't in Weekend at Bernie's.
What was that? What was that actor's name?
Is that
The
Jonathan
other
Silverman?
dude.
Oh, John Silverman. Yep. Right.
Okay.
Jonathan Silverman.
Jonathan
I get all
Silverman.
those fucking guys mixed up.
Yeah, no, he was not. That guy. No, not for him. But anyway, so according to this, like this criteria, this is who the 5 or the 6, however many there are. You have Molly Ringwald,
Mhm.
Yes.
Emilio Estevez,
Yes.
Anthony Michael Hall,
Mhm.
Yes.
Ali Sheedy,
Okay.
Judd Nelson,
Yes.
Rob Lowe,
Thank you, Allison. I agree.
Rob Lowe, Demi Moore,
Hmm.
and Andrew McCarthy. That's the Brat Pack. That's the core.
Now I agree, but I mean Robert Downey Jr. should get some. I mean, first of all, you got Less Than Zero, which let's face it,
Came out after the Brat Pack was a thing.
understood. But he was also in Weird Science, who's John Hughes, and also starred with other people as well. So
Also came out after the label. He's too young to be, or he missed it. He missed it.
But I mean, he was also once. I mean, granted, and I know this is the TV and not movie rule, but you've got Andrew. He was with Anthony Michael Hall doing Saturday Night Live for that one season. Granted, I know what you're saying, but movie, but he was adjacent.
So this is the list of what they claim are adjacent. Matt Dillon, John Cusack,
Okay.
Charlie Sheen.
Interesting.
Not back then. No, not Charlie.
Ralph Macchio.
I could see that.
No, Ralph. No, Ralph did the one movie. Sorry, not adjacent.
Leah Thompson.
I think Leah Thompson should be honorary.
Jennifer Grey.
No, disagree.
No, just because she did Dirty
Ferris
Dancing.
Bueller.
She did Ferris Bueller, Red Dawn, and Dirty Dancing.
Well, that's true too.
That's okay. That's fair.
C. Thomas Howell.
So then you got Tom Cruise too. Then because
C. Thomas Howell, and then Eric Stoltz. Now this list doesn't even put Robert Downey Jr. in there. I would have if you really.
But see, I'd give adjacent to Michael J. Fox before I'd give it to Robert Downey Jr.
Really?
Yeah, I would, just because Back to the Future, okay, connection with Leah Thompson, but he was like the teenager in the 80s. Every movie he did, I mean, Doc Hollywood.
Yeah, but he's always like 25 in all those roles. He was like a Patrick Swayze sort of thing. He just happened to look young.
But he was a huge part of the 80s. Huge.
So was Robert Downey Jr.
Not as big.
See, this is where we disagree.
Robert Downey Jr. didn't get huge until he went to jail.
There was Back to School. There was
the Pickup Artist.
Yeah, The Pickup Artist, which with Molly Ringwald, which again, because he was in that, and then she was in adjacent. So
yeah, he did a lot of those because you've got Weird Science, you've got The Pickup Artist. He's doing movies with the core right there.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
You put
I don't know.
I think he was too old by that time.
Who?
Bill Paxton, the older brother.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think what else he did other than Weird Science to get in that group. Like, no, he was way too old because he'd already done Alien. What year did Aliens come out?
79. I think it was 79.
No, Alien was 79, right?
Oh, Aliens was in the it was before Terminator 2.
Okay, and Robin Dove said they left off Mare Winningham, but here's the thing: Mare Winningham, to my knowledge, only did St. Elmo's Fire. I don't think she did anything else.
She did other movies, but like nothing around that time that was big with other people.
Yeah.
What about Andy McDowell?
We are missing a huge one. James Spader.
Yeah. And I will bring up James Spader in just a moment because this is a good. So look, here's the thing. This is a great conversation that will never solve a goddamn thing.
No, it's obviously very subjective, which is completely fine. But yeah, no, I think James Spader should get honorary along with RDJ. So.
And Allison likes racist movies, so thank you for throwing that out there. We appreciate it.
Soul Man was fantastic. When Blackface was funny, I love it.
Robert Downey Jr. is the king of it.
That is correct.
That is true.
Well, you mean you people. All right.
But
I like Soul Man. That was funny.
So I thought this would be a fun discussion. Okay, your favorite horror movies starring a Brat Packer.
And we can, and for the purposes of this conversation, we can discuss horror movies with Brat Pack adjacent as well.
Oh, if we're doing adjacent, oh shit.
Well, let's see if we can. What can we? First of all, I will go ahead and I will say I know what the ultimate Brat Pack horror movie program, whatever you want to call it.
That's debatable.
Well,
the answer is The Stand.
Oh, The Stand.
The Stand miniseries. You get Rob Lowe, you get Molly Ringwald.
That's fair.
You get two of the core.
The Hitcher. Okay, that's a good one. Absolutely.
And I'm going with Demi Moore and The Seventh Sign. I fucking love that movie.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, is there no love for Anthony Michael Hall and The Dead Zone?
Oh, there's Dead Zone, and he was just in one of the more recent, Halloween Ends?
Mm-hmm. I was like, because actually Anthony Michael Hall, he's got a pretty solid horror repertoire. And then you've got Emilio Estevez in that, oh God, what was the movie that he did? Maximum Overload? Is that it?
Maximum Overdrive, yeah.
Yeah, Maximum Overdrive. That's it. Yeah. Now, Robert Downey Jr., like before he did Iron Man, he actually did a number of, and I really wanted Harriet here to talk about this. There was a movie he did called, he played a serial killer in a few actually movies. They're not necessarily good ones, but it's Robert Downey Jr., so it's always fun. There was one called In Dreams, and I can't remember what the other one is.
Wait, In Dreams, was that the one with Halle Berry?
That I don't remember. It might have been. Oh, Repo Man. There you go. Repo Man. That's good. But my personal favorite, and it's more of a TV thing, because y'all know serial killers. I am obsessed. The more disturbed somebody is, I'm completely on board. If you guys know about Joseph Fritzl, who was the guy who trapped his daughter in the basement and then had babies with her, and so he had a whole separate family downstairs. They actually made a movie about that, and Judd Nelson played the father.
Gothica. Thank you, AJ. Gothica.
Oh, Gothica. Nice.
What a piece of shit.
That Halle Berry movie?
Yeah.
But Robert Downey Jr.
That was so bad.
So another thing they brought up in that was, Emilio Estevez, obviously. Does that mean that all the cast from Young Guns is part of the Brat Pack or Brat Pack adjacent?
Great question.
Yeah.
And Lou Diamond Phillips.
Okay, so I say Kiefer was a little too young. He's the next generation of like the just under the Brat Pack. He like missed out Brat Pack by like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Which is most of what I also kind of consider a lot of the Young Guns crew.
And thank you, DJ.
Lou Diamond didn't do anything else though. Like he didn't do anything with any other Brat Packer, so he wouldn't be in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say because that if you're counting adjacent at that point, then you got to bring up the First Power with Lou Diamond.
Well, you got to bring up all the fucking Lost Boys at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's a whole millennial sort of thing.
To go further up.
Yeah, so now we've gone to like the outer rims of the of the Brat Pack.
Now we're just doing the outer rim job.
That was brought up in the documentary too. He's like, well,
I was surprised they didn't bring up like anything about Lost Boys. I always, years ago, I always thought, oh, yeah, it's a Brat Pack movie because Kiefer Sutherland,
No, but it was 1987, and at that time we were pretty much like graduating and going to college by then.
Here's the thing. That's 2 years after St. Elmo's Fire. It's not like it's way.
That's fair. And Shannon, there we go. Shannon, 1408. That's exactly what I was going to say. If you look at John Cusack's body of horror, he may be a dickhead, but I mean, 1408 was fucking fantastic.
I would actually say The Raven was better than that if I'm going to pick a.
The Raven was
good. I enjoyed The Raven a lot more than 1408.
Well, I mean, if you're a Stephen King fan. But yeah, no.
So we were talking James Spader earlier.
Yes.
And I actually this one would count, and you might want to call it more erotic thriller than horror, but
what, Jack's Back?
Not Jack's Back. I was going to say Bad Influence with Rob Lowe and James Spader.
Oh yeah, that's just straight up porn. Yeah. That
was dude porn right there.
Oh,
ladies would have enjoyed that one.
Yeah, and Robin's absolutely right. Identity is probably John Cusack's greatest role. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we're so
better off dead.
Yeah.
Horror, greatest horror role.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Yeah. No, I agree. Someone threw away a perfectly good white boy. No, I agree.
Well, I love that movie too.
Yeah, but if you guys want to see something really disturbing, it was kind of made for TV, but Judd Nelson playing like the fucked up Joseph Fritzl dad, that's creepy as fuck. And I am 100% here for creepy. There's something that clicked in his brain where he felt he needed to play this role. Wow. I mean, who like actually wants to go out and play Joseph Fritzl? I mean, this guy that like imprisons his daughter, knocks her up, and then raises all her incest babies down in the tiny little basement, probably smaller than Matt's basement with all the water. It's pretty fucked up.
Playing.
Yeah.
Oh, AJ, good call. That's not a horror though. Not horror at all, but still a good movie.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're talking about like sexy movies with Spader? Fuck yeah.
Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf indeed.
I will admit it was
Wolf,
kind of
yes.
illuminating
Wolf,
that James
again,
Spader was
porn.
like the
Wolf is
sexy
porn.
bad boy of the era.
Yeah.
I did not know that before I got together with Demi.
Wait, what happened? What'd I do?
I was not aware that James Spader was considered the sexy bad boy.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Back in the 90s? Yeah. Look at him now when he was in The Office as Robert California. I was just like, well,
we don't talk about that.
well,
I've seen the blacklist now, and no. But I put a bag over his head, still go there. But, slap a wig on him. Why not?
All
But
right.
yes, okay. But I like some of these answers. I mean, I think The Stand is a great answer. 1408, adjacent, absolutely. Identity, absolutely. Sexy asshole, I love it. But but I think it's interesting, and like Matt brought up, and I think it. Did we bring up Seventh Sign?
yes.
Yes, first thing Matt mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seventh Sign, absolutely fantastic.
With Jurgen.
Jurgen. Oh God, I can never pronounce his name. It starts with a P and ends with a V.
Yeah. No, whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
that guy.
Something like that. But that's the whole thing. It's interesting to discuss like who is actual Brat Pack, who's adjacent. Because personally, I think it's subjective. Because I don't think there are official rules. I mean, Rob found that article. But
No, I honestly, I think if at the end of the day you really want to get down to it, if you were in 16 Candles if you were in The Breakfast Club or St. Elmo's Fire, you get to be Brat Pack. That's if you really want to cut through all the rules, there you go.
Yeah. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. So I mean,
Jurgen.
No, and
Jurgen?
he was in something else recently because that's the only other thing he ever did, and I can't remember what it was.
No, he was in the
First Judge Dredd.
The last good John Carpenter movie.
Oh, In the Mouth of Madness.
In the Mouth of Madness.
Yes. Which
He played Sutter Kane.
Yes, and could arguably be like the best Carpenter movie. Just saying.
Not in the world where Big Trouble in Little China exists.
You see, but some people might say The Thing. I mean, I personally think
I do say The Thing.
Yeah, I say
you know
Prince
what?
of
He's
Darkness.
got Halloween, The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, and In the Mouth of Madness. That's a pretty goddamn good resume.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's not many people. Unfortunately, I will say this: as great as those movies are, John Carpenter has done shit after that.
Yeah.
The collection of some of the worst movies ever made.
No, that's
Ghosts of Mars, not a good movie.
New York, Escape from LA.
Yeah.
AKA the same fucking movie.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. But I mean, it's a dude thing. So, whatever. My balls aren't big enough.
Right on, what is it, Cell Block 13 or whatever it was?
Assault on Precinct.
Hold on, Precinct 13.
Yeah, wasn't that with Ethan Hawke, I think?
Well, no, that was the remake.
Oh, the remake. Okay.
That was actually like John Carpenter's, I think it was either right before or right after Halloween. I don't remember which, but it's
early.
Okay.
Yeah. Early in his career, probably quite good from what I was told, but I haven't seen it. So.
All right. Well, so speaking of really cool movies, and Matt started mentioning it earlier, and I'm not going to give any spoilers because we're going to watch it again. But okay, since it's Pride Month, obviously this is my lame attempt at Pride. We like talking about some of our favorite, and we've done it in episodes before, our favorite LGBTQIA alphabet mafia adjacent films.
I have a new term for it.
Uh-oh.
LGBETC.
Verbal trademark. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm curious, like in the comments, and we talk about this all the time. So what would you say? I mean, let's go everything from Rocky Horror Picture Show right across the board. I mean, Rob, what are some of your favorites?
You know,
We can
it's
talk Ginger
funny.
Snap.
This is not our first rodeo with this conversation, and it always ends up being like, does this count? Does this count?
Like I said, Ginger Snaps is a big one that's up there. Absolutely.
You know, The Hunger is right there.
Oh, The Hunger, absolutely. Oh my god.
Nightmare 2.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a
that's the
fantastic story
big
as
one.
far as, you know, like the way
Whoa,
they
whoa, whoa,
said.
hold on. Wait. What? Nightmare 2 is debatable?
No,
Oh, I thought you said
for
it's debatable.
sure is.
Okay, I
No.
thought you were
I
saying
said
debatable.
definitely sure is.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like Nightmare. Well, it's the funny thing that the whole story behind Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is they argued, no, it's not supposed to be a gay movie. And then later on, in fact, like we have a friend, Kevin, who
Primal Root, Trash Cinema Collective. If you know,
Trash Cinema Collective, you know, he's done some great stuff over the years, and he wrote a review. You know, this is, you know, review 15 years after the fact.
Oh yeah.
About Nightmare 2 as a gay culture icon movie, whatever. And the writer and director like yelled at him, like actually reached out and sent him a scathing email saying, absolutely not, how dare you.
And now look.
And then 10 years later, they say, yeah, that is what it was about. That was the whole thing.
And then Mark Patton is basically screening that, doing the exact same thing as Primal Root all over the damn circuit. So
yeah. So
Kevin, you were first.
It's an interesting story that one has had, but yeah, definitely counts. We've talked about before Jennifer's Body, which isn't nearly as bad of a movie as people have said it is.
Oh, it's horrible.
I didn't say it's good. I just say it's not as bad as people think it is.
It's not good at all.
I would also like to throw, obviously, Boulet Brothers Dragula into the mix because just like everything about that is one. And of course, DJ said Hellraiser. Absolutely. And if you're going to go Hellraiser, I mean, a lot of Clive Barker stuff like Nightbreed. Nightbreed is, let's face it, entire, like the whole rainbow in that damn movie. But yeah, Boulet Brothers Dragula is a huge one, obviously.
Can we take a minute and shit on the Babadook?
Shit all over it, shit on it, shit in it, shit over it.
I fucking hate that movie, man.
Kid.
That kid, I have never hated a kid in a horror movie more than the fucking Babadook. Is Babadookie, as we say.
Okay, good. Because I know he got embraced and fine, but boy, that movie's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's brutal.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Piece of shit. All right, so
Rob, what's that candy movie called?
I was asking Robin what it was, the candy shop.
Okay. Okay, never mind. I misread. My bad.
Trying to find it.
But I mean, I think it's if you guys have watched Interview with the Vampire, you know it's like incredibly just all across the rainbow gay. Everything about it is fantastic.
It's not like they flaunt it or anything. It's it's vampire life, and that's the way it is. It's actually God, it's so good.
Here, my take as being an Anne Rice purist for fucking since 1988. I'm that person. I don't give a fuck. But what I always thought about the vampires is once you're dead, you don't have gender.
Right.
And that's so it's not necessarily gay or asexual or whatever. I just like Matt said, it's just vampire life. So everyone's like, oh, I ship Lestat, Dream Stat, blah, blah, blah. What? No. I don't see it as gay. I see it as once you're dead, there are no more genders. There's no more social monikers that are put on you. So yeah, if you're dead, you have no gender. So whoever you decide to fuck, you know.
It's like I don't know if you watch Lucifer or not, but it's the same idea of the devil. He sleeps with whoever he wants to because it's not about who the person is, which is basically what it's all about anyway.
Yeah. And it makes me sad that, I mean, granted, a lot of people that are younger and seen Interview with the Vampire, I mean, they've grown up with Queen of the Damned, which let's not even go there. Shit like Twilight. So they're just like, oh, yeah. Oh, Lestat, baby girl. No. That's yes, exactly. Constructs. Thank you, AJ. You're absolutely right. But yeah, but Interview with the Vampire, obviously, Pride Month is all fucking about that. You know, and last week, we can talk about last week, or just episode 5, let's just say. Louis and Armand, the fight between...
Keep it in general, just because there's still some...
Of course. No, absolutely. I know, like, AJ hasn't caught up, for example, but just there's a fight between Louis and Armand, and it's brutal but fucking hilarious.
Yes.
It's just let's that, and it's. And I like, just going under the fact that there are no social constructs, so it's not about gender or gay this or gay that, which makes the fight, in my opinion, that much funnier. But so yeah,
Interview was amazing this week.
I love. I'm just looking at the notes. It's Pride Month. Interview with the Vampire, still gay. So according to Rob, he thinks it's just gay. Is that right, Rob?
No, it's what I'll tell you. I'll say this: the Anne Rice,
the 1994 movie, yes.
The Anne Rice interpreter, the way she said it was, you see gender stops or existing once you're a vampire.
You may have said that.
The show changed that. The show doesn't. I don't think the show abides by that so much.
Okay, and if it doesn't abide by that, I can actually tell you why. In the books, your genitals don't work anymore, so you can't actually have sex.
Sure.
That's why feeding is a big thing for them in the books, because you can't actually have sex anymore. But apparently, as we saw from the first episode on, Lestat can fuck whatever he wants.
Yes.
If he can fuck, well then, yes, and he does. Which, you know what? If you're living for like thousands and thousands of years, yeah, you want a little variety,
Yeah, try whatever you want,
Absolutely. At that point, it's like, hey, I'm going to be around here. Yeah. So, what are some of the other like standby LGBTQ movies?
Well, they always try to throw in Bride of Frankenstein. If you want to go way back, Bride gets thrown in there.
And that's the argument for that is that because a director or writer is gay, does that make the movie gay?
So partially, but there's also the other scientist that tries to collaborate with Dr. Frankenstein, whose name I'm forgetting, is played very effete. He's played, ooh, tell me about this.
Don't ever do that again.
The only director really that puts that shit in their shit is Ryan Murphy.
Is who?
Ryan Murphy.
Oh yeah, no, Ryan Murphy.
Here's the gay. It's all right here for you. Here's the gay. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's like
no. What Ryan Murphy does, and like I said, y'all can quote me on this, is whatever fantasy he has in his head, that's what he puts on the screen. If he decides that he wants to fuck a dog, let's say for example, he wants to see that on the screen. That's what like the whole serial killer with Evan Peters and shit. That's what that all was about, So that's what he wanted to see. So he basically lived out his fantasy through media. So that's what Ryan Murphy does. So
I couldn't even watch this last season.
Nope. I haven't watched since Hotel and I have no desire to. But hey, to each their own. If that's your thing, vaya con Dios. All right. So we got anything else or fun and educational game. What is this?
Yeah, we're gonna do, you know what? So I did do some
gay or not gay? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, we're doing gay. On a scale of 1 to 100, how gay is this movie? That's what we're gonna do.
I like that actually.
All right, perhaps we'll do that. We'll do the Fruity Tomatoes game. And somewhere down the line.
Oh my god. Rebel trademark.
No, tonight I just have the Rotten Tomatoes game. So
I want to do Fruity Tomatoes, god damn it.
So basically, if you're not familiar with the Rotten Tomatoes game, first of all, call your friends, give them the link because everyone loves playing this game. Rotten Tomatoes is a score aggregator, but it boils the score down essentially to rotten or fresh, thumbs up, thumbs down. So when you see a high score, go ahead, Dementia.
Well, I was going to say, actually was thinking like gay or not gay, so I was going through my head. So Scream is always put on that list too. Do you think Scream is a gay movie or no?
I haven't seen the more recent ones. I mean, I get why people are talking about the Billy and what's his name relationship.
And Matthew Lillard.
I think that's people fantasizing a little bit.
I agree. And like I said, I'm curious what the Peanut Gallery thinks. Would you see Scream as a gay movie or not? No, but go ahead, the game.
So Rotten Tomatoes is a score aggregator, and it's aggregating. Is it a good or bad? Thumbs up, thumbs down. So that's what you have to remember. You're not necessarily like a 95% movie is not one of the greatest of all time. No, it's just most people, almost everybody is going to enjoy it. How much you enjoy it, well, that's on a different scale, but you're going to like it. And a movie that's got 3%, it's not saying it's literally the worst movie ever made. It's just saying, most people aren't going to like this.
Yeah.
So anyway, because of what we're doing, I've got some Brat Pack horror movies.
Brat Pack horror movies. Okay.
So we're going to go through the Brat Pack horror movies. Some of them you're going to know, some of them you're not.
So now I'm curious. It's like there has to be a Brat Pack horror movie that's gay.
That would be Bad Influence.
Yes, you're correct. Okay, I like that. You win.
Folks, Bad Influence starring Rob Lowe and James Spader.
And they're both so fucking hot, man.
Basically, James Spader plays a yuppie who meets kind of a bad boy in Rob Lowe, and who he admires Rob Lowe's free-spirited ways. Did I have it the back way?
No, I was saying I would say those two actors would be the other way around.
Agreed.
Perhaps
if I were to cast that with those two, I would have switched the roles.
Oh, I've always thought, movies like that, that's actually another interesting topic. Like Midnight Run, for example, Robert De Niro and Charles Grodin. I would have thought those two characters should have been the other way around. But yes, anyway. I'm sorry, Rob. I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
Well, anyway, so Bad Influence, where do we see Bad Influence? It's the yuppie horror movie, ultimately.
Yeah.
It's the gay yuppie horror movie.
I'm actually going to say 13%. I don't think anybody really liked it.
All right. I'll get the peanut, not the peanut gallery, the viewers.
The penis gallery?
I'm sure not a lot of people have seen Bad Influence in this day and age, but it used to be like a Cinemax movie.
Skinemax movie.
Or a later night HBO movie. All right. So we have 52. We have 20.
15.
And we have 15 from Carl. Matt got this one on the money, folks. It is fresh at 70%.
What?
No, excuse me. 65%. Matt still gets it.
I didn't think anyone actually even saw that movie.
It was a fairly it was, so it came out right around the time as the Rob Lowe sex tape, unfortunately. So not great timing for Rob Lowe in the PR department.
Okay. That'll do it. Okay, that's fair.
All right. Now this one we mentioned earlier, Demi Moore, The Seventh Sign.
Oh, that movie's fantastic.
Where she basically saves Jesus, or she saves heaven from having to send Jesus down and kill everybody.
Yeah. God, that movie.
80.
And that was the big movie because she showed up nude while pregnant.
Exactly.
That was, huge, scandalous, big deal.
And now it wouldn't even be a drop in the bucket. I'm gonna say 72.
Well, actually, if anything, it would be lauded and applauded today.
Oh yeah, now.
So we've got 75 from Robin, 50 from Shannon, Seventh Sign, Allison 60. Husband not weighing in today. Okay, Matt, you said 80. Demi, what'd you say?
72. So I just
72. All right. So this is going to, and hey, DJ just won it, by the way.
Really?
Seventh Sign is only 15%. It was panned.
What?
I think it's one of those movies that actually hasn't been revisited very much in the past 20 years because it got panned when it first came out. It was not.
I actually do remember that now that I think about it.
So I think it's one of those movies that I think if people gave it a serious look again today, they might not say, masterpiece, but they wouldn't say it nearly as the many bad things as they would today.
It's up there with, like, let's say Stigmata or any of those other kind of Jesus-y save the world type of movies, they did. And it wasn't bad. I mean, I've seen worse.
Well, speaking of worse, let's talk about the Molly Ringwald movie from 2000 called Cut. Not sure if anyone on Earth has seen this. And Demi, did we lose you because you froze up? All right. Well, we'll see what happened there.
Her laptop
Hold on.
died. She said.
Oh, laptop died. Uh-oh. Okay. Well,
Switch over.
yeah. So we'll talk from there. Yeah. Wait. Cut. So real quick, this is a horrible movie, but you do need to actually check it out. It's basically they stole the plot of Scream 3. They're a horror movie. They're people making a horror movie where there's a murderer on set killing people.
Oh God. Okay.
It came out in 2000, so the first 2 Scream movies, I think, at this point had come out. At least I know the first one had. I'm pretty sure the second one had 2. 3, not yet. So they'd kind of beat 3 to the punch with this piece of shit movie. So I'm kind of spoiling it a little bit just by calling it a piece of shit movie, but go ahead, throw it out there. It's supposed to be a horror comedy. For the record, if you want to see some bad horror movies, look up Molly Ringwald's movie. But pretty much anything Molly Ringwald did in the 90s. I mean, it's a pretty impressive collection of trash.
Oh yeah, she just needs to show up in cameos and leave it alone.
All right, so I got a 12, I got a 15, I got a 25.
Yes, I'll just say the 30.
30. Let's see. I'll just it's most people haven't heard of it. Oh wait, hold on. Here comes Demi. I think she's on her phone.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. Sorry about that.
Hey Demi, Cut, starring Molly Ringwald. It was basically Scream 3 about 2 years before Scream 3 came out.
Ooh, 22.
Okay, the score is 11. So Robin, congratulations.
All right.
I
didn't know that one even existed.
Yeah, it's again, we were kind of talking Molly Ringwald's movies in the 90s and that era were just pretty goddamn awful. So
That's true.
Anyway, but something that wasn't awful. It was the first movie where we saw a different side of Anthony Michael Hall. He was no longer the lovable geek. He was the fucking bully.
Yep.
Edward Scissorhands.
100%.
Not horror, but definitely spooky.
I'll say 79. Not
I'm
everybody's
still going high with that one.
What was that?
I said I'm still going high with that 100%.
Okay, 100%. Dan chimed in at 75. Carl said 85. Shannon, oh god, yeah, look at that. We've got some good words here. I think Carl gets this one.
Oh, really?
Edward Scissorhands is fresh at 89%.
Ooh, okay.
All right, now this next one is a movie that you're going to have to look up after the fact because I'm almost positive none of you have seen it, and bless your souls for it. Maybe. It's called The Dark Backward, starring Judd Nelson from 1991, where he plays a stand-up comedian who grows a third arm.
You know what? Judd Nelson actually did a lot of horror in the 90s.
Did a lot of horrible movies in the 90s.
Agreed. But he that's what got me thinking about this because he actually does have a lot of horror, like TV horror movie roles, like Lifetime horror movies and shit like that.
Yes.
So,
no, Judd, his list of horror movies is huge.
Yes.
And he's got probably
actually not
40 different horror movies, all but 2 never had a theatrical release.
Of course. But I mean, if you want to, like I said, just one night go down the rabbit hole, Judd Nelson actually does. The movies might be shit, but he's actually not bad. Just like Robert Downey Jr. in Dreams. The movie is fucking awful, but he's not bad.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, The Dark Backward. Judd Nelson, 3 arms.
3%.
That's also on Tubi, by the way, if anyone feels like they need to watch this later. Okay, so this is going to be the shock, and it's one of those ratings you have to take with a grain of salt because it wasn't reviewed by that many people. It just hit the minimum. It's 45% fresh.
Nuh-uh.
So not fresh, 45%. Technically rotten, but in that middle gray zone.
I love DJ's comment, a third arm, not a third leg.
Yeah.
Third leg could be something else.
And then we'll finish up with, actually, no, we'll do 2 more. Someone might have seen this movie because, again, when you look at the Brat Pack movies, their horror films are usually just direct to video or awful.
Yes.
Ali Sheedy kind of did a Cujo ripoff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Friend.
Okay.
What was it called?
Man's Best Friend.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Johnny Five alive.
Oh God, what's his name? Fisher
It's basically-
Stevens.
well, the difference was it's a genetically engineered dog. It's basically meant to be like a super killing dog.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I'm gonna say 7%.
7? That's not a bad guess. That's not a bad guess. Matt, what'd you say?
10.
10? That's
Yeah, I
not a
was like,
bad
everybody in the chat is highballing it.
Well, you know what? I think we're going to give this one to Shannon.
Really?
Congratulations, Shannon. The movie is rotten at 21%.
Wow. All right.
So it's bad, but apparently some people still thought it was so bad it was good.
Huh.
You know, genetically, basically, like they inject the dog with all this other DNA, so like it gets snake jaw, so its jaws can like pop open and get things.
It's like the
All right.
Ang Lee
I can
movie.
see how that would be so bad it's good. I could see that.
Yeah, like you can't escape this dog because it's genetically engineered to do all sorts of shit. All right, the last one, and we talked about this earlier, The Stand. Now, this is the TV miniseries, The Stand.
I have a question though, because I know they redid it. Well, redid it more than once. The Dark Tower series, the Matthew McConaughey one, because I know he took over the fuck this guy's name, the denim guy with the hair.
Joe.
No, the devil in the Stand. What the fuck is his name? Starts with an R. Anyway, the guy that's supposedly devil does all the whistling and stuff.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't. Starts with an R.
Randall Flagg.
Yeah, Randall Flagg. Thank you, Randall Flagg. Because I know he does Randall Flagg. Has anyone seen like Matthew McConaughey play Randall Flagg, and is it worth watching?
Yeah, I've that movie got such bad reviews.
With Idris Elba and him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's Matthew McConaughey playing Randall Flagg, which I mean, I was curious about. I didn't know if it was worth actually watching or not. So in the chat, by all means, if it's worth watching him in the role, let me know.
Yeah. All right, but yeah. So back to
anyway, the original, yes,
original TV miniseries starring Rob Lowe,
yes,
starring Molly Ringwald.
Yes.
It's as far as I'm concerned, it's the ultimate horror-esque Brat Pack movie.
And I will concede that point, sir. Absolutely.
It also had Patrick Starfish in it. It had Max Headroom in it.
Yeah, Max Headroom was Trash Man. Trash Can Man. That was fucking fantastic. I liked Randall Flagg in that movie. He was creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Not to mention the hair. That hair was on point. All right. 87%.
All right. Well, we have a winner on the nose with Robin. It was 70%.
Wow.
So I do remember people giving praise, but not overwhelming praise when it came out.
Yeah, I remember it was just so creepy. I mean, it was over the top cheesy, but it was still creepy.
It was interesting. That was one of those big event things. Like everyone was talking about it after it came out, though. And that was a big.
Yeah, and this speaking of Gen X, this was back in the day when if you wanted to watch something, you either had to be there or you had to record it on VHS and watch it later. We didn't even have TiVo then.
Watching the original It.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. That's exactly it. It was like the original It is like that was the big event. You had to be home that day to watch that.
Yep.
Those were the days.
All right. Well, that's all I got. So.
All right. Well,
one more time, we'll just share if you can help help Angie and Matt recover from the flood loss at GoFundMe.
Yeah, and even if you can't donate anything, share it with your friends, share it on your social media. They've got a journey ahead of them, and they're going to need our support and our thoughts and prayers. No, I'm kidding. I don't give a fuck about thoughts and prayers. Yeah.
And Dan, you rule.
Yeah. And, like I said, make sure you let everybody know. And if you have friends going to Dragon Con or going to Charleston, please let them know, because I know there'll be a few other vendors who will have the QR code there at their booth, so you guys can throw them a little extra. Like I said, you don't need your Dunkin' Donuts. You don't need your fucking McDonald's for the next couple of weeks.
DJ, this is actually an excellent point, but the way this one was set up, GoFundMe does not get any of the fees on this particular GoFundMe. They don't get to take a nickel. Although I will say this, be careful. They do ask you to tip. Like when you do the default donation, GoFundMe has like it's a tip that you'd send to GoFundMe. So you do your donation and then
they do get a cut. They get 3%.
Oh, okay. I didn't think they got anything even on the. I thought it was just on the front end. Okay, so my mistake.
3% on each donation. They take 3%, but we don't get taxed on it because it's a gift.
Okay.
So we're not going to lose money on the taxes side of it because this is what I think Angie looked up earlier. That's what she was saying. I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, DJ, if you want to just message Angie, she'll give you the info.
Yeah,
Cool.
and like, and y'all keep up with Freak Show Unlimited on their social media because they're going to keep us updated with what's going on. If any blood starts running down the walls, or they start seeing skeletons pop up in the backyard, you guys will be the first to know.
Oh yeah,
so,
have a party.
That's a GoFundMe. That's hey, we're gonna come to the horror house, get killed by a ghost.
That's the Airbnb.
House starts talking to me, man. I'm gonna start recording it. And we're gonna have beers. In the house, we're just gonna sit out front and fucking bitch and moan.
I love it. I fucking love it.
One last question. We'll call it a night. DJ did ask, do you guys have a wish list, or you have a wish list too? Is that correct? I don't think.
Well, what I posted a Ashton asked me to put together a Amazon list of replacement things, like things we've lost. So there is a list on some of there's an Amazon list out there that has things on it, but they're all like
just so you can see exactly more or less what they lost. I mean, if you want to buy them a 3D printer, absolutely. But I mean, just some of the supplies and stuff, even just getting some of the lower end stuff will help them out immensely.
Yeah.
So.
All right, everybody. Well, on that note, thank you for joining us for the guest episode. Boy, oh boy. Central Florida horror fans are eating good.
Absolutely, man.
We're getting to see some shit. So, folks, with that,
we're gonna go watch some Interview with the Vampire and fuck off. Okay.